Ketchup. Few condiments have traveled as far from their origins as ketchup has. The name comes from a Chinese fermented fish sauce called ketchup, which made its way through Southeast Asia and eventually reached British sailors in the 17th century. For a long time, ketchup in Europe was made from mushrooms, walnuts, or oysters. Tomatoes didn't enter the picture until the 19th century in America. Heinz locked in the modern formula in the 1870s, and the balance they struck between sweet, sour, and savory has barely changed since. It is now the best-selling condiment on the planet. Mustard. Mustard is one of the oldest condiments in recorded history, with evidence of its use stretching back to ancient Rome and China. It is made by combining ground mustard seeds with liquid, water, vinegar, wine, or beer, which triggers a reaction that produces the sharp, pungent heat mustard is known for. The style of that liquid determines the character of the final product entirely. Yellow mustard uses mild seeds and vinegar for a bright, sharp flavor. Dijon relies on brown seeds and white wine for something smoother and more complex. The seed itself is one of the most widely grown spice crops in the world. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is an emulsion, a stable suspension of oil and water that shouldn't naturally hold together but does, thanks to the lecithin in egg yolk acting as a binder. The result is thick, creamy, and rich, in a way no single ingredient explains on its own. Its exact origins are debated, with France and Spain both making credible claims, but by the 19th century it had become a cornerstone of French cuisine. On its own, the flavor is mild and fatty with a gentle tang from lemon juice or vinegar. Its real power is as a base. Aioli, remoulade, and tartar sauce all begin here. Tartar sauce. Tartar sauce is mayonnaise taken somewhere more interesting. Chopped pickles, capers, onion, and lemon are folded in, creating a sauce with more texture and a brighter, more acidic character. It became the standard pairing for fried fish across Britain, France, and North America, and the logic is sound. The richness carries the flavor of the fish, while the acidity cuts through the oil. The name likely connects to the French word for the Tartar peoples of Central Asia, used loosely in French cooking to describe sharp-edged preparations. The sauce has long outlived that debate. BBQ sauce. Barbecue sauce doesn't belong to one recipe. It belongs to a tradition of slow cooking over fire, and the sauce evolved differently depending on where that tradition took root. Kansas City made it thick, sweet, and tomato-heavy. The Carolinas split into vinegar and pepper or mustard-based versions. Texas kept it thinner, letting the meat speak. What all versions share is purpose, to add moisture and depth to food that has already spent hours absorbing smoke. The complexity comes from layering acid, sugar, heat, and savory elements against each other. Hot sauce. The core of every hot sauce is the same: chili peppers, vinegar, and salt. Beyond that, the range is enormous. Louisiana-style sauces are thin, vinegar-forward, and designed to be shaken liberally over food. Mexican varieties lean into dried chili flavor with moderate heat. Fermented versions like sriracha build deeper complexity through the fermentation process. The compound responsible for the heat is capsaicin, which binds to pain receptors and triggers a response the body reads as burning. Regular exposure raises tolerance, which is why frequent hot sauce eaters find themselves reaching for hotter varieties over time. Soy sauce. Soy sauce has been produced in China for over 2,000 years, making it one of the oldest manufactured condiments still in daily use. It begins as soybeans, roasted wheat, water, and salt, inoculated with mold and fermented for months. The result is a deeply savory liquid with complexity that goes well beyond simple saltiness. Japanese shoyu is lighter and more delicate than Chinese varieties. Tamari uses little to no wheat and has a richer, thicker character. The savory depth comes from glutamate, the same compound found in aged cheese and cured meat, which is why a few drops can change a dish in a way that's hard to trace but impossible to miss. Salsa. Salsa predates European contact with the Americas. The Aztecs were already combining tomatoes, chili peppers, and squash seeds into a sauce that Spanish colonizers encountered in the markets of Tenochtitlan in the early 16th century. The base ingredients have stayed largely consistent, but the variations are extensive. Salsa roja is cooked and smooth. Salsa verde uses tomatillos and stays bright and tangy. Pico de gallo is raw and chunky, closer to a fresh relish. In the United States, jarred salsa overtook ketchup in sales during the 1990s, a quiet marker of how significantly American eating habits had shifted.